In February this year, funding by some donor agencies was frozen to the Zambian National Farmers Union (Znfu) following a scandal that involved massive misappropriation of donor funds totaling to more than 34 million kwacha in activities bordering on fraud, tax evasion, and sheer abuse of authority. Following a report carried by KPMG of Finland, the report reveals that funds amounting to 33,944,347 kwacha has been misappropriated. The Embassy of Sweden, the Embassy of Finland, and Effect are, however, demanding a refund of the funds donated to the Zambia National Farmers Union.
The findings in the report are of serious concern and constitute breach of our agreements. We need to see follow-up on this. We need to ensure that accountability takes place by the board, but also, we hope, by law enforcement agencies. Donors will now individually look at our agreements and most likely will also reclaim funds from Znfu. It's also important to remember that donors have a dual responsibility both to taxpayers at home in Sweden, in Finland that is, but also to farmers in Zambia, which we also think that the Znfu, its management, but also of course its board has. At least on the Swedish side, I can't see any further funding under our agreement.
The two joint embassies alleges that in the main findings of the report, it has been observed that ineligible and out-of-budget payments for inter-area landscaping and trafficking services, executive pay significantly higher than agreed with donors, and significant non-budgeted costs related to inter-area construction of office complex could have contributed to the misappropriation of the funds.
The accounting and financial reporting of Znfu cannot be considered as reliable. They also conclude, the KPMG report also conclude that there is significant non-budgeted cost related to, among other things, construction of office complex that has been attributed to the CSP program. The executive pay significantly higher than the what has been agreed with the donors. There is ineligible and out-of-budget payments for, among other things, landscaping and tracking services.
Speaking at the press briefing at the Swedish Embassy in Lusaka, Media Institute of Southern Africa, Mr. Zambia National Director, Mr. Austin Kanda, called on stakeholders to come on board in advocating for the enactment of the Access to Information Bill, which can help to close up the information gap which breeds corruption.
We feel that the lack of information, lack of access to information bill is the cause of all this information. Because of a lack of information bill, we are creating what we call information gap. Now, as journalists, we cannot go and probe certain information and be able to inform the nation, because this, we have hindrances in terms of how we can access this information, how we can publish this information and tell the public.
And Transparency International Zambia Executive Director Godwin Lungu has expressed disappointment of the development at the National Farmers Union and has since appealed to the relevant authorities to take drastic actions against those found wanting.
In this breath, we want to commend the two embassies for putting their foot down to ensure that there is transparency and accountability. And what we would like to encourage both the embassies, law enforcement agencies and other stakeholders to ensure that whenever we have resources, let us not abuse these resources. So I want to encourage the embassies as well as the law enforcement agencies that a drastic action has to be taken against all the culprits who diverted these funds.
Henry Ngosa reporting for Prime TV News in Lusaka.